Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to round 11 of the LBL. We're getting it all underway. Danny qualifying on pole as he gets a good start, manages to go keep his position in turn one. Sorry, this is a butchered restart. We've had to do this race twice now. Off the start anyway, Danny qualifying on pole, maintains his P1 as Nico overtook Grimes into turn one, but Grimes is going to come back at Nico, manages to do so, but this is some beautiful side-by-side action as Drake's in fourth. They're looking to get involved. Nico being pushed just a little bit out wide there. They are getting into it big time at the front here. Grimes does manage just to hold out on first position as Danny is already getting 1.3 seconds on the start of this race because of all the scrapping there just behind. We've got 18 races right now. We should only have 17, but after the calamity that happened the first time round, 3 people aren't coming back, so I have no clue what's going on. But anyway, from the start of the race, we have Danny in first, Nico back again in second, re-overtook Grimes. These boys are fighting big time. Drake's in fourth as they are going back at it again. Grimes looking to make a move, unable to do so. Nico shutting the door on Grimes there. This is beautiful for Danny as he's just going to cruise away as these two keep fighting. Anyway, Drake's in fourth, Seiji in fifth in the Red Bull, Nolking in sixth, Jack in seventh, JD in eighth, Andy in ninth, Alfie, our darling, our sweetheart, in 12th right now. We have a 3-second time penalty for Cam, picking up multiple warnings as Scott's going into the pits. He might have had a bit of first lap contact. Very unfortunate for him. We've got Delirious in 12th. Overtaking Jake Pig there, who is being overtaken by Jake Pig rather. He's now in 13th. Bames in 14th, Young Demon in 15th, King Joel 16th, Cam in 17th, and then yeah, like I said, Zero Scott I think picked up some wing damage on the opening lap. He did qualify 6th. He's now in 18th, unfortunately. But anyway, back to the action at the front. This is some awesome racing between Grimes and Nico now as we're going down the main straight. Grimes in the slipstream of Nico. Is he going to go to make a lunge into the chicane right here? He does. Unable to do it though, as there's a little bit of a corner cut there from Nico, but the better exit ultimately from Grimes as they are side by side. Nico slotting in behind Grimes to get the slipstream advantage now into the fast right-hander. You take this corner about 185 mile an hour. Nico's going to go for this move. Forces Grimes a little bit wide. Grimes going to have to give him some space, but does have the better exit there, still maintaining his position. And meanwhile, Danny is just clearing off in front. Drake's looking to get involved in this action as well as Nico is desperately fighting for P2. Crazy stuff there off the start. I'm amazed there has not been any contact yet, or any contact that I have seen so far. Seiji in 5th. After all the contact, as Danny sits at 132.8. Quite obviously going to be setting the fastest lap as while the front pack are battling. He's just going to be running away with it. Seiji would want to get himself involved for this, potentially get a podium. I'd love to see some more people getting on the podiums. JD with a 3-second time penalty. Down in 7th there, just behind Nolking, who we're on board with in 6th. Fortunately picking up a penalty. Jack in 8th. Andy in 9th. That's nice for him, going to pick up a couple of points. We've got Alfie in 11th. Hopefully try and get him in the points again. You know, he's such a strong points finisher from himself. He never expected to get in the points, finish them in the points, but you know, he's done so well so far this season. He's had 3 finishes in the top 5, which is crazy. His teammate in a 12th, sorry, as Alfie's getting into it there, just in front of him. Oh, a little bit of oversteer there from Jake, manages to correct himself and stop him from losing the car. Delirious in 13th, Bames in 14th, King Joel in 15th, Young Demon 16th, Scott down in 17th. Very unfortunate having to take that very early pit stop with the wing change, and then Cam bringing up the rear in 18th. But up front, we still have Danny with a convincing 2-second lead. This is beautiful for him. This is what he would have wanted. Grimes in second. Nico, having fallen off the back of Grimes ever so slightly, is now under pressure from Drake's, as we're going to have some DRS action here now. The letterboxes are opened. Grimes setting the fastest lap. He's going to be closing that gap ever so slightly. The gap is now 1.7 to Danny. Going to try and reel him in. As this track is seeming hard for people to keep it on the track. You know, so many people are cutting the corners or you know, extending track limits. Crazy. You know, even from the top boys here, you'd expect they'd have more track discipline, but no, they're just going off as Grimes going very slow there. There might be a disconnection. Not quite sure. It allows Nico to get on the back of Grimes. He's going to overtake Grimes, and Grimes has left the session. That is very unfortunate there from the Mercedes of Grimes, our championship leader as well. He's leading this championship by 7 points. Very unfortunate indeed. We have Nico in second now, being chased by Drakes. Drakes was perhaps thinking about a move up the inside. He is thinking about a move up the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? They are going to go side by side through this third sector. Nico just edging in front of Drakes there, but Drakes is going to come back yet again. Like I was saying before, all of this battling is just going to allow Danny to clear off. He's just going to go up the road, do his own thing, mind his own business, and have fun with it. Noel King going to take the early pit stop. Might have a little bit of damage, not quite sure. As Grimes is falling further and further down the order. This is really not what he would have wanted. Very unfortunate there from the Mercedes man. As speaking of Mercedes, Drake's looking to make the overtake on Nico. He manages to get in front of him with the exit of turn 2 and also manages to stick. Make it stick. This is enthralling action here. You know, we were saying earlier on in the season we were a bit surprised with kind of how inconsistent Nico has been. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it is. Although, you know, he fancied a bit of a charge later on into the season. He was telling me, you know, he wanted to show us what he's about. You know, he gets that win at Silverstone due to the misfortune of a penalty from Danny. But even still, a win is a win, no less. Nico currently in second, being chased down by Drakes. He is on the rear end of him. He can smell the fumes of that engine exhaust. Backing off just a little bit there. Further down the order, we've got JD getting into it with Jack in scrapping for 4th position. Some lovely stuff there. The prancing horse and the Aston Martin getting into it with the Red Bull of Andy just behind. Jake in 8th. Little bit of overstake. He keeps snapping. Managed to control it twice now from both times we've seen it. As JD's going to go into the pits now on lap 5 of this race. Delirious in 9th. A lot of alternate strategies today, it seems. Alfie in 10th, also pitting as well. I'm not sure if they're going to be going for a 2-stop or just to extend a really long 1-stop. Noel King in 15th. Scott in 16th as well. Seiji in 17th and Cam at the very back of the grid. This is very unfortunate from him. Yeah, I just wanted to touch up on what happened earlier on. So we started as scheduled 5 PM as always. If you do want to watch this live, well, I mean, you wouldn't have wanted to watch this shit show that happened today live. But it is twitch.tv/LawtonLads. You can come over, see the qualifying, the pre-race, all that good stuff. We also do open lobbies afterwards. But yeah, we were on about lap 6, and for some reason the lobby just bugged. The safety car wasn't coming in, and we had to just reset the race. So unfortunately, what was a really good start, it was packed full of action, is unfortunately, you know, it's just going to have to be chucked in the bin, in the recycling bin. And that's that. But we are back now with this. It's not showing the times for everybody, as Danny's coming into the pits on lap 6. I have no clue what that was. I have no clue whatsoever what that was. There are loads of people coming into the pits. Drakes and Nico are going to stay out for now. They feel like they've perhaps got enough grip on their tyres still to, you know, stretch out the compound they're on for a little bit longer. Excuse me. On lap 7 now. Still Drakes, who managed to overtake Nico. We clearly didn't see that. We missed that. It's very unfortunate. Jake's in first, Nico in second. Jake in fourth here, getting into some lovely action here. The Haas in fourth on the medium strategy, so we'll be going a little bit longer into this race before he gets his pit stop now, opening up the DRS. Going to try and go up the out. He's going to go to the outside. Lovely overtake there. Beautiful stuff. Delirious in fifth as well. Didn't get that good of an exit, so isn't able to stay on the tail of the people in front of him. Further down, King Joel in sixth. See, these aren't necessarily perfect positions, because, you know, with obviously some people having pitted, you know, like Danny, who's down in 10th. These aren't the actual racing positions of some of the people, but it is nice to see people in different positions having a couple of battles with one another. As Nico's currently in the pits, he was in first for a bit. I missed that. I'm not sure if he was first. King Joel picking up a 3-second time penalty. I'm not sure if he was in first coming into the pits, or if it was just because of obviously how the pit entry works. You do actually come into first because of the corners. We have a retirement from K Seiji. We have a safety car. That is very unfortunate there. We have our first safety car of the race on lap 7. Speaking of safety cars, I worked it out. We average a safety car every 4.5 laps in this league. So the fact that we've made it to lap 7 is amazing. Very frustrated Seiji. He's not very happy with himself. It's just the calm now. It's just the calm bit, you know what I mean? It just breaks up the racing. Everybody's going slow. We have Jake in second with a penalty, though, no less. Delirious in fourth. Excuse me again, I do apologise. Bames in fifth. Grimes in sixth. Danny in seventh. Nico in eighth. Noel King ninth. JD 10th. Jack 11th. Andy in 12th. Joel 13th. Demon 14th. Alfie, our darling, we need to get him some points in 15th. Come on, bud. Get into the points paying positions. Scott in 16th. He'll love this now, as obviously on the softs he will be a nice bit faster now than a lot of the people in front of him. Still not quite sure what happened on the first lap of the race. But yeah, and then Cam Dog in 17th with our first retirement in Case AG. Drake's is going to come into the pits, as is Jake, as is Delirious. Bame's doing the same. Grimes also coming into the pits. Danny's going to stay out and retake his lead of this race. The drive-through penalty for Young Demon speeding under the safety car. As everybody's now coming through. Drake's is going to come out in second thanks to the safety car there. With Nico in third, Noel King in fourth, Jake in fifth, JD sixth, Jack 7th, Andy in 9th, Delirious 10th, Bames 11th, King Joel in 12th, Demon King 13th, Alfie 14th, Grimes 15th, Scott 16th, and Cam in 17th. We have the Aston Martin safety car for France. We're a third of the way through this race. I think I'm losing my voice from all this commentating. All this biblical racing. It's just calm and quiet now. Just chilling out. Look at that, just everybody dodging and weaving. Left to right, get those tyres warmed up. The safety car really does ruin it for me, I'm not going to lie. For Hungary, there will be no safety car. I would like to trial something. I basically just want to see, you know, because, you know, when you're going around, I think, what was it? The race just gone, Austria, I think there were 6 safety cars. And when you have that many safety cars, you know, just strategies get thrown out the window, and it's just boring at this point. You know, you have a 35 lap race around Austria or something like that, and you're spending, you know, 16, 17 laps, you know, half a race behind the safety car. It's not fun whatsoever. It really isn't, you know. At this point it is safety car simulator, and it does get boring and repetitive, so oh, everybody's batteries should have been recharged by now, I imagine. They are indeed. The safety car will be in this lap. Excuse me, apologies. I presume the safety car would be in this lap. If it's not, I will be amazed. It is indeed, as we're going to get ready for our first restart of the race. Currently the order is Danny leading the pack from Drake, Nico, Nolking, Jake, JD, Jack, Delirious, Andy, Bames, Joel, Demon, Alfie, Grimes, Scott and Cam in 17th there down at the bottom. 1 DNF so far in Seiji. We're on lap 10 out of 27. 6 penalties currently on the grid as Jake is overtaken Noel King. There's a bit of contact, like, come on guys, just... Anyway, as Danny gets away now with the restart, Drake's was quick to react. Hasn't gained that much of an advantage whatsoever. We are back for some green flag racing by the time he crosses the line. Indeed, there we go. Danny in first, wasn't able to get the greatest of getaways he would have wanted. Drake's in second, Nico third, Nolking fourth, Jake fifth. Battling it out with JD for fifth, as we have a Jack also closing in on the back of JD. This has just been one chaotic race, honestly. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you, anymore. These races just become more and more biblical by the week. I knew it was bad, but I didn't think I'd have to make a lobby twice. But you never know. Oh, I love that angle there. All the cars going very fast. 185 mile an hour, you come around that corner there. There's a lovely little battle going on here for 6th. JD running wide with Jack now coming around the outside with the switchback as well. Going to put on the ERS is JD. Number 98 of the Prancing Horse there. Currently up front, Nico challenging Drake's as he managed to overtake him at some point. I missed out on there. Ooh, runs a little bit over the curb. Not what he would want. Danny in first. Alfie with a 3-second time penalty. That is very unfortunate. Our sweetheart picking up a penalty. That is the last thing we all want to see. I think Danny's won a race in, I think it's the last 3 races, as Andy also picked up a penalty for multiple warnings. So it'd be nice to see Danny back on the top step of the podium. Once more, Nico in second, being hunted down by Drakes. Just behind there. Noel King in fourth. Has yet to been on the podium this season, as have most of the people on the grid. Would be nice to, like I said before, to see someone new on the podium. This is some lovely racing. I think all the people on the mediums now will go to the end, especially with the safety car. Look at that there, the gap that Danny has built. 1.7 the gap now. DRS has been enabled after the restart. So I think there will be a lot of switching back and forth between Nico and Drake Series. They've had a lovely battle so far this race. Grimes overtakes King Joel. The man who started in second dropped to 12th now. Although he has just overtaken King Joel. He'll be wanting to push further up the table, get some points. And a damage limitation for Grimes here today, I think. With the DRS, he's going to go alongside Nico. Manages to get in front of him before the braking zone. I think I've got a bit of a raspy cough. As Jack getting into it. Oh my goodness. Jake Pigg has tumbled down the order. We just caught the last bit of that. I wasn't able to quite see what happened. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Hopefully it is only a yellow flag and nothing else. Ace Drakes with the fastest lap of the race so far. He's looking for the charge on Danny now. Alfie with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Kit lane? What's a kit lane? There's still a yellow flag in sector 3 as Alfie is just DNF'd. Oh, the man who is so consistent at getting points, unfortunately DNFs. That is not what we wanted to see. Very unfortunate. There will be no points today for Alfie. I think there might have been a mechanical issue in the pits, so they just retired the car there and then. That's what we're hearing on the team radio. Very unfortunate indeed. We currently have 16 races. Still Danny in first. Nico in second. These boys are having a great tussle for second here. Nico and Drakes. Drakes is going to have the DRS, I would have thought. No? No DRS for either of them. Never mind. As Danny is now 2 seconds up the road. Starting to run away with this race. Scott's now into 7th. We have a yellow flag in sector 1. Grimes has dropped to 14th. Not quite sure why. There's Drakes and Nico getting back into it yet again. Honestly, I'm probably going to stay on board with this for the rest of the race. This seems like where it's at. It seems when Drake's is in second, he gives, you know, he catches up to Danny, and then, you know, Nico makes a move, gets back in, and then, you know, Nico kind of slows down the pace a little bit, so Danny is able to get away a bit. Danny's just conserving his energy right now as Andy Gatehouse picking up another penalty. I fear there is going to be a lot of steward submissions after this race tonight. Nico with DRS. Don't think it's going to be enough. You're not making a lunge from there. You'd be silly if you were. Here we go, Nico coming back at Drake's now. The power of the DRS. As Drake's coming back at him though. These boys are having a great tussle. Lovely. Nico coming into the pits. As are a lot of people. Danny currently leading this race by 2.7 seconds. We're on lap 17 out of 27. Danny's leading from Drake's with Nolking in third, Delirious in fourth. Lovely from Delirious yet again. Always manages to find himself high up in the points there. Bames in fifth, King Joel in sixth, JD seventh, Grimes in eighth, Jake Pig in ninth, Nico in 10th after his pit stop. Going to be on much faster tyres though. Jack in 12th, Scott 13th, Demon 14th, Andy 15th, and then Cam rounded out the bottom in 16th. Stay on board with JD for a bit here. As both Danny and Nolking are making their pit stops. As is King Joel. We've got JD with some DRS on the back of Bames here. Bames also managing to get DRS. But JD having more ERS to work with. Going to go up the inside of Bames. I think Bames yielded, broke a little bit early there. Able to get the job done. But Bames will have DRS. We've got Grimes getting involved in the action now as well. Oh, a little bit of oversteer there from Grimes, able to just about keep it from putting himself in the wall. There will be no move from Grimes on this DRS straight. Bames got right up into the back of JD. JD on the podium yet again. There's a little bit of contact between Bames and Grimes. Oh! Oh, Grimes has just lost it. Grimes has put it into the wall. He has no front wing. There is a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. Very unfortunate there for Grimes, as this may have just put his race to bed. Very unfortunate indeed. Grimes is obviously going to pit now. That's very unfortunate for him, as he has to nurse his car to the pits. It's currently Drake's leading the race. 9 laps to go. It's a double Ferrari podium as we speak, but they do both have penalties. With Bames right behind in 4th. Danny in 5th. Nico in 6th. Jake at the Haas in 7th with a penalty, knocking in 8th. As Camdog says the fastest lap of the race. Very nice and tidy there. Man in 14th there, showing he's got some speed behind him. Excuse me. Jack in 9th. As we see a move here from Bames, overtaking JD with the DRS, of course, as both of their ERS is below 10%. The red lights are flashing. What's Drake's going to do here then? Has Drake's got the meat on his tyres to go to the end? No, he doesn't. Drake's is pitting. Drake's is coming in for a pit stop. Young Demon King with a 3-second time penalty. What's Delirious doing? Delirious is staying out as we have a retirement. We have a safety car. Bames coming in. JD also coming in. I don't know if I can quit. Whatever. Danny staying out. Okay. Now, what does this mean? Danny has 8 laps. On medium tyres. There's a drive-through penalty for Grimes. It goes from bad to worse. Grimes currently in last, now with a drive-through penalty. Although I imagine he'll just serve that at the end of this lap. What is Danny going to do? When did Danny pit? It wasn't that long ago, was it? So Danny thinks he can win this race on the mediums. Jake on the hards. He's going to stay out till the end. Everybody else on the mediums apart from Drake's. And Nico came in for softs as well. JD on the mediums still. This could be a very tasty ending. A very tasty ending. I wait to see. Final few laps of this race. I think it could end up being very tasty indeed. I think Drake's and Nico both pitted for softs. Meanwhile, Danny is trusting in his mediums. I don't know. I think maybe he stayed out because he does have track position here. Whereas before, you know, he would have been behind, he would have been in traffic. Whereas Drake's would have come out in first on fresh softs. So it's the best thing for Danny to do here. I think the safety car would be in this lap. I would have thought it would have been. It is indeed in this lap. Danny has 6 laps. To win this race. To stay in first from a very fast challenging. Drake's behind him on the softer tyres. Will he do it? Where's Danny going with the restart? And he gets underway. Or does he fake it? Either way, they are definitely underway now as Danny's still in first as we approach the 22nd lap of the race. Drake's in second, Nolking in third, Jake in fourth. Look at that, the front two are already long gone. Jack in fifth, Bames sixth, JD seventh, Nico in eighth, challenging JD. Look at that, the faster tyres there, just proving ultimate. As we have a yellow flag in sector 1. Not quite sure why. Nico behaving a little bit there. This is some lovely action here. This is 3 abreast. Going into the chicane. How is this going to end? And like always, there was always going to be someone who fucking binned it. Yellow flag in sector 2. Nico got his way up into 5th right now. Yellow flag in sector 3 is Abby and both Grimes have DNF'd. There's a VSC right now. Nico with a 3-second time penalty. Full course safety car is out again. Which will mean the race will not end under safety car, but it also won't have DRS. Jake coming into the pits. We only have 13 finishes at the moment. Grimes unfortunately DNFing. Although the man's had a poor race. He got disconnected earlier on. He got spun out or something to the back of the grid. Then had a drive-through penalty under the safety car. And now his race has just gone from bad to worse, and he has ultimately had to retire the car. We're on lap 23 out of 27. The safety car has just come out. Still Danny in first, although Drake's with the much faster tyres in second. Knocking in third with that penalty though. Bames in fourth. Nico also had a penalty that he picked up. So Bames could be in the prime position to pick up a podium. Everybody weaving. Left to right, get as much heat into those tyres. JD with a 5-second penalty. A severe collision with Jake. That is the last thing he'd want. Lovely stuff here from Scott, who was in second to last pretty much most of the race. He's going to have a few laps to also pick up a few more positions. Although I do think, with obviously time penalties from other people, he won't finish in 7th. Hopefully higher than that and not lower. But yeah. Safety car going to be out for another lap, which will leave us 3 laps of racing. Cam managed to get up into 8th as well, I've just seen. Although there was only 5 people, sorry, correct me. Oh my goodness. JD has just retired from this. What? Oh, I fucking give up with this. This is just the most biblical league ever. As we only have 12 races right now. Out of a possible 20. Only 18 started. As we have a bit of a team radio from Nico saying there's going to be a protest with the penalty after the race. We'll have to have a look at that. So I do think the safety car will be in this lap, which will mean there will be 3 laps of racing. There won't be any DRS though. Or there might be on the 27th lap actually. On the final lap of the race there might be DRS. Oh, fuck's sake. This certainly is chaos at the highest order. This is definitely the most shithouse race we've had so far this season. Safety car's definitely got to be in this lap, right? It is indeed. So we're going to have 3 laps of racing. At this point I've given up, to be honest. You know, normally I try and keep a bit in good spirits with these races, but with just how it's been tonight, you know, we're coming up to 7 PM and this race still isn't finished. It started at 5. Well, the first one did anyway. Well, qualifying started at 5. But anyway, Danny's going to get ready to get away, as he does now, for hopefully what will be the final time this race. Doesn't really catch Drake's lacking. Although it does get a good exit there. Drake's ultimately with the faster tyres though. Let's see what Drake's can do. This is the battle for the race win. As we got Bames who overtakes Noel King there just behind us. Let's come back to this. There is a 4-way battle for this podium. Look at it. Crazy stuff. Technically 5 if you involve Cam as well. I think I saw Scott get disconnected from the session. It's all over the place this week. Jake Pegg with a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So many penalties. This racing has been crazy. Oh, as Bames loses it a little bit, allows Andy to get up into 5th. Jack with a penalty. As Scott overtakes Jack for 11th. I think Jack has no front wing there, as we saw. Delirious in 8th. Great race. Great drive from Cam, who's currently in 7th. Nico in 3rd currently. Meanwhile, in front, we're on the lap 26, the penultimate lap of the race. We still have Danny in 1st with Drake's in 2nd. Nico in 3rd, 3 seconds down. This is a 2-horse race. Baines picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Chaotic racing, as it's bugged out once again. It's showing Danny in last for some reason yet again, but obviously we do know he's in 1st. He's halfway through Sector 1. Or Sector 2 rather, and it's showing him setting the fastest lap of the race. I don't know what's going on. No, it's put him back in 1st now yet again. I've no clue. I've given up. Danny in 1st, Drake 2nd, Nico in 3rd with a penalty, but he says he wants to protest it, so we'll have to have a look at that later on. Noel King in 4th. Andy in 5th. Good points there. We're coming up to the final lap of the race. Both have enough ERS, plenty. If Drake's is going to try and overtake Danny, he's got to do it now. There will be 1 lap of DRS. Nico setting the fastest lap of the race of a 31.9. Drake's on the faster tyres. What has he got? What can he do? As we're approaching the first DRS section. Yet again, Danny ghosting, dropping down. It is DRS for Drake's. ERS open as well. Drake's is closing in on Danny, but he's unable to overtake him. We have half a lap remaining of what has been a very chaotic race at the Paul Ricard circuit. My. Still Danny in 1st, or last, whatever way you want to look at it. Drake's just dumping all the ERS there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Danny has managed to stay in 1st for pretty much the entirety of this race. He didn't pit under the safety car. Took the mediums all the way to the end as he comes around the final corner on the run down to the finish line. Drake's does have DRS, but it's not going to be enough as Danny takes the race win around France. It says Drake's takes the race win, but we know Danny has. Drake's in 2nd. Nico crosses in 3rd with all these penalties. I have no clue what's going to happen. Noel King 3rd. Bames 4th. Cam 5th. Lovely recovery from him. Andy in 6th. Delirious in 7th. Jake in 8th. Scott in 9th. As Scott DNF's crossing the line. As he actually finishes in 7th in the end there. Jake picking up the final point of the session. And then Jack coming around the final couple of corners here. To take home 11th. Says Danny hasn't finished, but he has. He's won the race. But yeah, that's all she wrote, I think. What a biblical race. Well, race is, if you want to count the first one as well. That's Classic F1 2021 for you. Nico's dropped down to 9th. Well, that has been all from me. I'm going to have to go clean up this mess now. The Discord's going to be popping off. If you boys do want to come and watch this live, 20-second time penalty for King Joel. if you do want to come watch this live, hopefully it'll be a lot better than this shit show that's happened today. Twitch.tv/LawtonLad. Make sure you drop a comment on the video, leave a like and subscribe, all that good stuff, you know how it is. But until next time, peace!